What's going on, guys? Peter Cruz here. Going to do a play test here today on the Dark Terror from Orange Amps. I've had it for about a week or so. Really haven't put it through its full paces yet, only because I haven't had a chance with the wife and kids in the house. So, been doing some light play testing with it, and for the most part, I'm not going to go over the whole feature set. I kind of went over that in a previous video. Basically, I'm just going to give you some samples of different sounds and whatnot you can get with it. At its purest, this is just a tone generator, okay, a tone machine. It'll give you one sound that you set with your dials, and from there, everything you do is your fingers and your knobs on your guitar. That's it. I mean, you don't have a whole lot of tone tweaking type of capability like you do with the Tube Maestro with multiple channels, or reverb or anything like that. I mean, this is basically a volume knob, a gain knob, and a shape knob, which is your EQ. Oddly enough, though, you would probably think that it would give you not so many tone shaping options, but as you'll see, between what you have available on your guitar and on the amp that you can set up right off the bat, it's really very versatile for what it is, really. No foot switches to mess with. It's straight up just tone, and you can put on standby. Duh. I will say, as you could say, it's noisy, but it's got raw gain. I mean, as much as you could possibly ever need. This is really set for like the metal player. So I mean, if you're in a blues or a country western band, bluegrass, or 80s elevator music, this is not the amp for you. You probably want to get something else. But for the metal player, I mean, this thing totally rocks. And in my early testing, it is a bit noisy, I will give it that, but the amount of gain it has available on tap is really phenomenal, especially for such a small little box. Just to go over what I'm setting up today, I've actually got the Dark Terror going into a 1x12 cabinet that's got a Celestion Heritage, the G12H 30-watt speaker. I'm running the amp. If you see me flip the standby switch up, I'm going into 15-watt mode, in case I forget to tell you. And if I switch it down, it's going to 7-watt mode. Basically, right now I've got volume halfway up, gain is all the way up, and shape I've got maxed out, which gives you a kind of a scooped sound for the real chug-chug. Again, it's on standby, I keep forgetting. I only do that because this way you can hear me talk over the hiss of the amp. And I've got it mic'd up with an SM57, aimed at an angle towards the cone, plugged into my new audio interface. I just picked up just a couple of days ago actually, a Sapphire Pro 40 from Focusrite to replace my aging MU1820M for my recording. It's a Firewire interface. This is actually the first project I'm doing with it, so hopefully it stands up. If the recorded audio ends up being from the camera, I apologize. I don't know how I might have to reshoot the video, but hopefully this all works out just fine and we'll be good to go. Anyway, I'm going to go through the shape control a little bit, and volume I really don't need to mess with, because I mean, you know what volume sounds like. The louder the better, right? So let's go ahead and work a little bit with the shape knob and give you some various tones, and I'll mess with the volume control on the guitar so you can see how it cleans up. 15-watt mode, because I actually think 15-watt mode sounds better. It gives you more low end, what I call balls deluxe, whereas a 7-watt mode gets you all the gain and it sounds really nice, and it gives you a little bit lower volume. The difference in volume isn't that great though, honestly. I mean, I don't see why you'd probably want to use a 7-watt mode unless you want to play at whisper quiet bedroom levels or something. Then I guess 7-watt might be slightly better than 15 watts for that purpose. But in terms of you're going to turn it up to play, the jam, whatever, 15 watts all the way. That's what I say. So anyway, here we go. Shape is all the way to the left. No, 10 o'clock. About 1 o'clock or so, which for me I think is pretty much the happy medium that I personally like. So 3 to 4. All the way up. Really scoop. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll the volume back and just play a few clean things. I feel like I'm shouting. I'm going to clean it up a little bit, roll the volume back on the guitar. I'm going to split my bridge coil and just play a few clean stuff or whatever. You'll notice if I pick harder, it really breaks up. And if I really lay back on the picking attack, it stays pretty clean. So let's check that out. I'll leave it there. I won't mess with the volume. Going back to 15 watt mode. You can hear the hiss though over the whole clean thing, which is the bummer. Cool. Well, that's all I kind of had to show you guys today, just a little bit of a tone test. I don't think a lot of people have shown a lot of the range, I guess, of the shape control. It's not a full-on EQ as far as like your treble, middle, and bass, so you don't have that flexibility. But for a metal player, I mean, you pretty much cover the gamut of a lot of the classic type tones. I mean, you've got all the way to the side there, you know, basically to like, what, 8 o'clock. You've got your kind of more classic, let me turn the volume down a teeny bit, and back to 7-watt mode. Almost like that classic kind of mid-rangey, almost, and it sounds like it cleans up. I mean, the hair is still there, but it just kind of smooths it out to where it's not as fizzy or whatever. And the whole fizzy thing really depends on how you set the amp. I mean, you could go, probably turn the gain down some, which takes a lot of the noise away, because that's a lot of gain. You can turn the master volume up to really cook those EL84s if you'd like, and then kind of turn the gain down a teeny bit, and it gives you more power tube saturation but less of the preamp gain. But in any case, shape all the way down to the, kind of gives it more of that classic, I don't know, I picture like a classic Sabbath tone or something. And then on the other end of the spectrum, if you turn it all the way up, kind of get that scoop mids sound. Which became all in vogue back in the 80s, that whole thrash metal when it first came out, was all that big scoop mids. And so, any case, and of course more in the middle is more of a, I guess, a modern in-between. So, cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Rock on, and stay tuned for updates from the studio in progress, so to speak, with my new interface and everything else. And as it were, I still have the Tube Master. I'm going to be using the Tube Master and the Dark Terror for recording my new CD as I start working on that and recording it. And it's probably going to be, I'll probably split them to where I've got the Tube Master on one side and the Dark Terror on the other. So it'll kind of give a little bit of a difference in tone, a little bit more meatiness and thickness to the overall sound, because I'll be using 2 different amps. And on a somewhat related note, I'm taking my other carbon in today to have the pickups replaced. I'm going to put a couple of Duncans in there, put a Seymour Duncan Invader in the bridge, and a Seymour Duncan Screamin' Demon, which is actually a bridge pickup. I'm going to put it in the next position. And I think that guitar is going to breathe fire when it's done. So, any case, rock on, guys. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll talk to you later.